Hello, it's Melissa Sweet here, public health journalist from Croaky. We're at the Katzenham conference and we're talking to Marg Cranney, who has been running a very engaged and participatory mentoring workshop today. So Marg, can you introduce yourself? Tell us who you are and what you do.
Sure. My name is Marg Cranney and I am an educational trainer, facilitator, curriculum developer, and I've recently been engaged by Katzenham to actually write a mentoring program for them. It's a mentoring training program actually. It's to train people who want to be mentors and mentees, and we've run a few of those workshops, but I'll talk about what we did today first. Today is part of their Katzenham's Professional Development Conference, and so we had a one-day workshop on aiming for excellence in mentoring. And so what the aim of the day was to actually let people know and for people to talk about the mentoring skills that they actually have. Most of us have mentoring skills and we may or may not know them as such. And we work with other people, developing their strengths, working with them around issues that they might have. And that's really what mentoring is about. Mentoring is about the relationship. And so today we've talked about the qualities that are essential in a mentoring relationship for that relationship to be excellent, to be successful for both the mentee and the mentor, because it's a two-way relationship.
What's the difference between a mentor and a friend or a colleague?
The mentor is someone who is usually chosen by the mentee because they inspire the mentee in some way. It might be because of a personal quality, might be because of a job that they have or a role that they perform in a community or an organisation. And by having the personal quality or that job or whatever it is that inspires the mentee, it actually influences the mentee in terms of being the best person that they can be, whoever they want to be.
And what were some of the sort of key themes and messages that came out of today from the participants? What did you hear?
The main messages that I heard were actually about having an equal relationship, that it's not a power-based relationship. Often when people think about mentoring from the past, we think about an expert who's giving their wisdom to somebody who's not as expert, who's a novice. But that's actually not how mentoring works these days. It's about a two-way relationship in which the partners are equal, in which there's safety, there's physical, cultural, spiritual safety, there's emotional safety, where people can respect one another and where they can raise issues, whatever it is that they want to.
Why is that more equal power dynamic important?
For the trust to develop, for the relationship to actually be, it's actually the relationship that is excellent in terms of mentoring. So it's about the mentee feeling that they can raise whatever it is that they need to raise, and they won't be judged. They won't be judged by the mentor. They won't be told that they're wrong. They'll both be working for a solution to issues, and they'll both be working to increase the mentees or help the mentee implement their goals.
And some of the issues that people raised today, some of the problems they might be needing to resolve with the help of mentors, things like lack of cultural safety in workplaces, bullying, etc. What do you think is some of the learnings out of today for managing those type of situations or responding to them?
Well, for some of the real life issues that came up today, there was actually a lot of commonality in the room. People knew exactly what others were talking about, especially in terms of racism in the workplace and bullying. And the success or not depended on the management of the unit or the workplace. And so some people had a successful resolution because they were backed by their management. Others were told that it wasn't okay. And that they should just keep quiet or move along somewhere else.
So is that sort of highlighting one of the challenges for mentoring, that it's an individual sort of relationship, and how does that make change versus systemic changes within the system? Individual
change actually helps to implement systemic change. Systemic change is happening in the health system through the National Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Health Policy, which has as its vision the elimination of all forms of racism in health services in Australia by 2030. So for the first time, a government's admitted that there is racism in the Australian health system at that government level. that's not something that happens necessarily at individual health service levels yet. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander staff are the people who are actually starting to talk about that, raise the issues. Some of them are successful, some of them aren't heard at all.
And can you tell us a little bit more about how the Katzenham Mentor Program works? You know, how many people are involved, what it entails?
Well, it's very new. We've only just begun. It's actually a training program, as I said, and we've run, we ran our first trial program in 2016, March 2016, and decided then to go ahead to develop it into a 2-day training program. And the New South Wales Department of Health, the Ministry of Health actually, has been really interested and partnered with Katzenham to further develop the program. And this year we delivered a 2-day program in Coffs Harbour and one in Sydney. And the Coffs Harbour cohort was almost 30, I think, 29 or 30. And in Sydney we had 18. And these courses were really successful. There was the same level of kind of engaged energy that there was today, where people really want to know how to be a good mentor and what are the skills that you need, how to develop a mentoring relationship in which that will work, where people feel safe and comfortable and are ready to open up. And so we provide them with a context in which to do that. The mentoring, the model that I work with is one that I developed with this 4-stage program for mentoring, where there's a preparation stage, a starting out stage, a travelling together stage, which is the longest part, and then after you've reached your destination, looking at what your learnings are. So once you look at it in a holistic way, where the mentor is actually learning as much as the mentee, and it is a journey a relationship that you develop together and a journey that you go on together, it makes people feel more comfortable about the role. A lot of people are worried that they don't have the skills to be, or the capacity to be mentors, and also mentees. So there's a lot of kind of wondering about what is this thing. Yeah.
So the mentors that you're training, are they Katzenham members or are they other?
Some of them are Katzenham members, but depending on the partnerships that Katzenham develops, in New South Wales it was the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander nurses and midwives. And a lot of them are members of Katzenham. Some weren't, and they joined up during the program, which was really good for Katzenham, but it wasn't a requirement that they be members of Katzenham to do the training.
So if people are hearing about this mentor training program and they want to find out more or perhaps engage with it, how do they do that?
They contact Katzenham in Canberra and talk with Colleen Gibbs or Janine Mohammed, who's the CEO.
Fantastic. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up?
I'd just like to say that I feel really privileged to be working with Katzenham on this. It's such a positive topic to talk with people about, because there are so many experienced nurses and midwives who really want the best for younger people who are new grads coming out, and they want to help them be successful in their jobs.
And what we heard today is the young ones are also performing mentor roles.
Absolutely, yeah. The panel that we had today was 3, one of them hasn't graduated yet and 2 of them have, but they're actually providing a lot of information to, as representatives of young Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander nurses and midwives about what it's like for them and what they need. Yeah.
Great, thank you so much.